We go to the 8th inning. 4-0 St. Louis as they try to take a 3-2 lead in the World Series. You know, looking back, remember when Oquendo was throwing? Would you like to guess the last guy to steal home in a World Series game? Take a guess, Jim.
Jackie Robinson.
Take another guess. Think about it for a minute. Think about it, and we'll give you the answer shortly. 8th inning, Dan Gladden at the plate, and it's up high, ball one. Gladden, Gagne, and Puckett. 4-0 St. Louis.
No, it wasn't me.
No, it definitely wasn't you.
McCarver, my partner.
Believe it or not.
Another groaner.
There's
This is a groaner.
As a matter of fact, if you can believe it, 1964, a steal of home, a throw through to second, and there's McCarver crossing the plate.
Tail end of a double steal. Big deal.
Meanwhile, Gladden with a base hit into right field. But who would have thunk it?
You know who the lead runner was? Mike Shannon, who is now the broadcaster with the Cardinals.
Well, what a speedy pair that was, huh?
Well, you did lead the National League in triples one year. I remember that from the '85 World Series. Big ballpark or what?
That was 19. It was this ballpark, yeah.
With grass.
Keep tossing me bones, don't you?
Well, when are you going to tell everybody I walked with the bases loaded? They pitched around me in the '70 World Series. Respect for my hitting ability.
Gagne at the plate with nobody out. Gladden at first base in the 8th inning. 4-0 St. Louis. And Ozzie Smith now going to the mound in the bullpen. Again, it's the righty Worrell and the lefty Daly. Whitey Herzog knows he has John Tudor for Game 6. And if he needs a Game 7 starter, he's thinking about Cox. Of course, he'd have McGrain if he wanted to go with a lefty, but it's highly unlikely in a 7th game. Another strike and the count 1-1.
Well, he has Greg Matthews, but I talked to Mike Rourke today, and he said, I've went over to him right now and said, can you pitch? He said, of course. But the three-quarter throwing on the side doesn't get him ready for the games, and we found that out last night. So you're looking at McGrain or possibly the bullpen.
Matthews came
Everybody.
Last two starts early.
That's right.
Ricky Horton's another good choice because left-handers have matched up very well.
Bunted, and it's a good one, and it's a base hit. So the Twins, not rolling over, have runners at first and second and nobody out as Gladden starts with a single. Gagne gets a bunch single, and up comes Kirby Puckett.
Well, great play because you're 0 for 3. You see where Oquendo's playing way behind the bag. He's giving you the bunt, and you take it. The only problem is executing, and he, as you can see from that camera angle, he did it perfectly.
Mike Rourke trotting to the mound. Herzog would make the move, so this is just a visit.
Hey, and we brought it up last night. It is a credit to this ball club that they keep coming back like they do. The Tigers had them down 5.
A 6-0 shutout. So it looks like they're going to give an opportunity to really, at least at this point, to get into the 8th or maybe through the 8th, depending on what happens. They just haven't played well on the road, at point about Minnesota. They did it against Detroit, winning 2 out of 3, but now they've lost 2 in a row and are looking at another one.
Whitey might be thinking here, Cox pitches to Puckett, Daly comes in to face Herbeck, and then he goes with Worrell.
Right.
That's a fly ball to center field. McGee is there, and that's the first out. So 1 away, and now Ken Herbeck comes up. Herbeck is 1 for 3.
Well, once again, where do you go when you need a good pitch to Puckett? You go inside because he's swinging at a ball. That ball's about 6 inches off the plate. And it's, as Rick Rennick, one of the coaches, said, when he's hot, he can hit that pitch, but he's not hot.
Meanwhile, here comes Whitey, and as we suspected, he was going to face one more man, and he's going to bring in the lefty. He's going to bring Daly in here. He's also going to make a double switch, bringing Lindemann in to play first base. as he tells Ken Kaiser exactly what he'll do. So Daly will come in to face Herbeck, then you'll probably see Worrell to face Gaetti, and we'll be back. Ovation he got as he walked off the mound. Natural sound.
Two changes for the Cardinals.
So there he is, Danny Cox, who very well could be back on the mound on Sunday. As Ken Daly now comes in. Daly last night came on in relief in the 7th inning. Worked 2 2/3 innings, faced one man over the minimum. Gave up a single to Don Baylor, and that was that.
Very impressive. Came in and got Gaetti out on a strikeout, and then Brunansky to pop up. An amazing story. The ligament transplant from the right wrist to the left elbow came back since last October to have a 9-5 year, his best year for the Cardinals.
So Herbeck now at the plate, takes outside. 4-0 Cardinals, 8th inning with 1 out. Minnesota has Gladden at second and Gagne at first. Routine for McGee. 2 guys. Now Gaetti, now Herzog, now Worrell. And the Cardinals are 4 outs away. Worrell working on Gary Gaetti with 2 out and 2 on in the top of the 8th inning, 4-0 St. Louis. Gaetti is 0 for 3. Worrell, the Rookie of the Year in '86. Sort of an amazing thing when you think about it. Worrell, who throws so hard, and there's Lindemann, the first baseman. Todd, the Rookie of the Year last year. Before he was classified as a rookie, he'd come up in '85. By the end of the year, he was the ace of the bullpen. He pitched in the World Series. He struck out 6 in a row, a series mark. He was also involved in that disputed play on the Orta ground ball at first. He did all those things before he was a rookie, only because he didn't pitch the minimum number of innings. 1-1.
And then when he became a rookie, he led the league in saves.
Yeah.
He had an off year this year, only 33. Now this is about 98 miles per hour. This is one of his strengths, getting the ball away. The other night he came in on Gaetti, and that's the controversial play, the line drive that Oquendo snagged. Controversial in the sense that we didn't think he should be playing down the line, and he's not playing there tonight.
And it's 1-2.
On top of all that you said, he was the first pitcher to be named the Rookie of the Year after pitching in a World Series.
He had a whole career before he was a rookie.
Very confident. Said the more he works, the better he feels. So he pitched tonight, game 6 if needed. Game 7 if you need me then too. Can play right field.
Another thing he did before he was a rookie, he was the winner in the pennant clincher against the Dodgers in the playoffs when Clark hit the home run. 1-2 pitch coming up. 2-2. Tony Pena might need a chiropractor tomorrow after that. I mean, he's rubbery, but that tested him.
Well, it's an idea of how hard Worrell is throwing. A catcher like this catches it in a web, and look at the momentum that Pena had. Caught that one by the seat of his pants.
A normal human had 6 cracked vertebrae. To center field and deep, very deep. McGee goes all the way back, leaps and has it. And then it comes out of his glove, so it's in play, and Gaetti winds up at third. It looked like Woody was going to be able to come up with the ball, and all of a sudden it came loose. So the Twins pick up 2 and have Gaetti at third as McGee goes all the way back and can't hold on.
It appeared that the ball hit the heel of the glove. A lot of times outfielders expect Yep, it hit the heel of the glove, then rolled around and then came out.
Well, back to the wall. You can see his right hand feeling for it. Doesn't quite get all the way to the wall, but you can see him cushion himself. And right here, big glove. Sometimes useful, not on that play. Ball came right out of it.
Oh, that's an amazing picture. He never had control of it.
It's a 3-run home run in the Metrodome. It's only 408 feet.
Well, you just think about it. The heel of the hand is the hardest part of the hand, and the heel of the hand in the glove, that's the hardest part. And that's how the balls get jarred out of the glove. Rarely in the webbing, unless, of course, you run into the wall, and the wall had nothing to do with that play.
2-run triple, 4-2. Another look.
His glove. So therefore, all he had was pretty much webbed. Makes a lot of sense. Paul Blair. In fact, all the great players that I played with, Brooks Robinson, Mark Belanger, guys that won gold gloves, as you look at Willie McGee, had small gloves. They used to really almost have a pocket where if the ball got into it, very hard to get it out of it. Like a cesta almost.
1-1 is outside. 2-1 on Brunansky, who represents the tying run. Gaetti at third. 2 down.
Think about the hitting of Gaetti, and I'm sure Tom Kelly happy. The other night, he almost turned Oquendo over with that line drive off Worrell, and now he takes him deep to center field on the fastball away.
2-2. Meanwhile, Joe McGrain is throwing in the St. Louis bullpen. And
no
also
way.
Rick Horton.
You look at the 2 left-handers, Horton on the right, McGrain on the left. No way you can look for a 2-1 slider when the guy's throwing 98 miles per hour, and yet he came back with it. And that's what Gaetti's home triple will do.
2-2 to Brunansky. Full count.
Brunansky, 32 home runs on the year, and they've pitched him great in this series. They have thrown the breaking ball down and away, hardly given him any balls in the middle of the plate to drive. You're wondering 3-2 what Worrell will do. Will he come after him?
In the air to center. Playable for McGee, and that's that. But the Twins have the lead. Get 2 after 7.5. St. Louis 4, Minnesota 2.
It's dry, like Mom used to make. I remember as a boy, she'd make dry roast beef, dry gravy, the driest turkey you ever tasted, and stuffing, dry as a bone. And on birthdays, it would take 8 or 9 glasses of milk just to wash down the cake, you know?
But most people don't like dry food.
Yeah? Maybe that's why Dad left.
Most people like the taste of hot and juicy hamburgers, like Wendy's, the best burgers in the business.
Neither could the crowd, and we called it as a catch initially because with the naked eye, that's exactly what it looked like. But it rolls around and comes on out.
Does everything right except catch the ball. It gets back. I think the momentum of really trying to go back, and the ball makes his glove hit the wall, and then you can see right there the whiplash of the glove. Disappointed, frustrated, because what it's done really, and not be shitty that he should have catch it, is put the Twins back in the ballgame.
And the crowd response was for a spectacular catch, and then almost in disbelief. What's the ball doing rolling back toward the infield?
Yeah, it would have been a terrific catch if he comes up with it.
Bottom of the 8th inning. Ford to lead off. Ford, Oquendo, and Pena with Reardon working. 4-2 Cardinals. When the Twins bat in the 9th inning, they were at the bottom of the order. They are 7, 8, and 9. The spots occupied right now by Laudner, Lombardozzi, and Reardon. And on the bench, left-handed batters, they have Smalley, who's the switch hitter, Randy Bush, and also the switch-hitting Newman. Strike. On the other side, they've got Don Baylor, the right-handed batter, and Mark Davidson. 1 ball, 1 strike. To Puckett in center. 1 gone.
Third baseman, Jose.
Ford is out, number 1, and Jose Oquendo is the batter. Oquendo 2 for 3. Oquendo thrown out twice. Once coming home late. Gagne throwing him out on a ground ball off the bat of Coleman, and the other time thrown out when Cox struck out on a 2-strike bunt, and he was caught off third on the squeeze attempt. 0-1. Jose Oquendo. What a godsend he's been for Whitey Herzog, especially the way things turned out. Late in the year, they can do so many things with him, and he's been alternating between right and third in the World Series.
And he also alternates between right and left sides of the plate also. And it's an interesting story about how he became a switch hitter. We talked earlier about Jim Fergosi, who was the manager of the Louisville Cardinals, a AAA affiliate, a couple of years ago. Whitey Herzog and the Cardinals played an exhibition game down in Louisville. And Jose at the time was batting 190, and Whitey said, Jim, if he's going to hit 190, he might as well do it as a switch hitter. If you remember, he was a switch hitter. He tried it for the Mets, but it was on the big league level.
And Oquendo gone on strike, so 2 down here in the 8th inning, and Pena the batter.
There are a lot of things you could do in the minor leagues where you don't go through all the pressures and rigors of having to win. Because in effect, that's really what the minor leagues are. They're a training ground to win in the big leagues.
And develop players.
Right.
Didn't hit enough, or he'd probably still be with the Mets. Apparently Davey Johnson did not think that, if you look at Joe McRae, didn't think he was going to hit. A lot of people think that he could be one of the better shortstops in the National League, but not playing that position, nor will he here in St. Louis unless you pinch hit or you take him out and rest Smith.
2 out, bases empty, strike to Pena. Should note, by the way, talking to Herzog before the game, he got a telegram last night. Even the fans are always sending telegrams with advice. He got one last night that said before the game, don't play lawless. Kelly got one that said, we're behind you all the way. Let's do lunch, signed by 3 secretaries in Minneapolis. Of course, Tom is very happily married with 2 children.
It's unusual that they say do lunch in Minneapolis.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, that's an L.A. term, isn't it?
They must have heard you and Steve Zabriskie when you did about 15 minutes during the summer.
There's Lawless. No balls, 2 strikes, the count on Pena. Toward the middle, and by Gagne, base hit. So Pena tonight with 3 hits. Tony now has 6 hits in the series and 16 at-bats. And Jim Lindemann, when he came into the game, remember they made the double switch with Daly, so Lindemann came into the 9 spot in the order.
Well, this makes batting instructor Johnny Lewis so happy because in this big ballpark for the Cardinals to be successful, they don't want to hit fly balls. If they do, they're going to be caught. They're not home run hitting. So you top spin them. Even fly 11 after about 15 outs, 9 of them were on ground balls. So they have been hitting the ball on the ground all night long, and they have 4 runs to show for it.
Tonight, for instance, and to reinforce your point, they have made 3 outs in the air to the outfield. 3.
Meanwhile, Pena checking his foot. The reason for the delay. On the subject of... Boy, watch it. He said, it's like I'm out of my body. It's not me doing this.
Great thing about that picture, where did the bat land?
The bat never came down. It's like Jesse Orozco's glove last year when the Mets won it.
Right.
Things like that never come down. They stay up there.
Just stayed up. Lance Johnson, meanwhile, will run for Pena. So Tony has to come out. And the good news for Herzog is that tomorrow's an off day. If it's anything more than a very minor little sprain. And that means it should be Steve Lake coming in to catch in the 9th inning. They also have Tom Pagnozzi as a catcher. Strike and the count 0-1. And the report we're getting from the bench is hamstring, right hamstring for Pena. Gene Gieselman right there to check it out. Johnson goes, Lindemann swings and misses, and the throw is too late. So Lance Johnson, yet another typical Cardinal rookie, speed, singles hitter.
As a matter of fact, this is his first appearance in the World Series, and on the second pitch, he gets a stolen base. The only player on either side not to be in a ball game yet, John Morris with the Cardinals.
Really haven't had a chance to use John Morris, whose strength is coming off the bench as a pinch hitter.
Cardinals with 5. As Johnson makes it 5, but Lindemann strikes out and can't cash him in. So the lead is still 2 as we go to the 9th. Jim Palmer and Tim McCarver, Game 5 of the World Series. The St. Louis Cardinals on top by a score of 4-2, and Al Newman to pinch hit for Tim Laudner, who was 0 for 2 tonight. And what Kelly's doing here, down by 2, Laudner is the all-or-nothing type hitter, strikes out a lot, has power. Steve Lake is the new catcher. He needs a base runner. So Newman comes up and takes a strike, and he also would rather have a left-handed batter up there.
And he's got Roy Smalley on deck and Randy Bush probably in the hold to hit against Todd Worrell.
Smalley to bat for Lombardozzi. 1 ball, 1 strike to count.
As my old skipper would say, you can't get in trouble until somebody gets on. And that's what Todd Worrell wants to avoid.
1-2.
Fine job by Jeff Reardon, by the way. Came in, faced 5 hitters, struck out 3, so he's situated for Game 6 and 7. Got some work.
Routine for her. 1 guy. Steve Lombardozzi is the batter. Lombardozzi due up, and of course it's Smalley to bat for him. And then Bush out on deck. So Smalley hitting here with 1 out and the bases empty in the 9th. One and 0.
Assume he's taking a double in the second game off Worrell.
Sweep is the chant we heard in Minnesota the other night, and we're hearing it now in St. Louis. And this series has been a home sweep so far. 2-1. Sixth game is 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific on Saturday. Tudor and Straker is the matchup.
You certainly have a tendency to swing it more about pitches off Worrell, especially up in the strike zone, because at 98 miles per hour, you can't wait a whole bunch of time.
Got to make up your mind
in a hurry. Yes,
that's right.
Three and 1 on Smalley. Johnny Lewis and Red Chainbeans, trainer Gene Gieselman and Nick Leva, Mike Rourke, and Herzog. Tom Kelly trying to get the tying run to the plate if Smalley can get on. 3 and 2.
We talked about it the other night. That's one of the things that has changed in the game. If you're going to take all the way 2-0, why wouldn't you take 3 and 1? You're going to get the same pitch 3-2 that you got 3-1, and the 3-1 pitch in the process may be a ball.
3-2 to Smalley.
Listen, Jim, the Twins are so dominant at home. They may be the only team in World Series history going back home down by a game and thinking they have an edge. I think they really believe that.
Kirby Puckett. Smalley, who doubled off Worrell as he pinch hitter Sunday night. Fouling a couple away and hanging in, 3-2.
On the pitch, the borderline pitch 3-1 that you take, it may be a ball you can't afford to do 3-2. So to make your job trying to get on base as you look at an anxious Tom Brudansky, much more difficult.
And Smalley is on, so he's able to work Worrell for a walk, and the Twins will get the tying run to the plate. And Randy Bush comes up to hit for Reardon. And it was Randy Bush with a big 2-run double in Game 2 as part of that 6-run 4th inning.
On a changeup. Third consecutive one, and when Worrell got him out to end the game, really end the bottom of the 8th the other night in the Metrodome, what did he get him out on? A changeup, and he had a real good swing at it. I would think he'd stay with the hard stuff, make him hit the ball to the fat part of the park here at Busch Stadium.
1-0.
Lindemann at first base playing Smalley way behind him. No idea about holding him on. You go on the theory that Smalley's run is no good. Cardinals up by 2, and now it's Mike Rourke again to talk to Todd.
Probably more about mechanics than the fact that Randy Bush. You're wondering why you don't take now is because you have the tying run in Randy Bush at the plate. You want him to be aggressive. Certainly want him to swing and strikes.
One and two. On deck is Gladden. A ball and 2 strikes on Bush. Looks like Greg Nettles a little bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, somewhat.
Not to me. I threw about 10 home runs to Nettles. It looks like Randy Bush to me.
1-2 the count. Shallow right. Herr goes out. 2 gone. And Dan Gladden 1 for 3 plus a walk. 2 gone. Smalley at first, tying run at the plate. Strike.
The outfielders reminded on any ball to throw the ball to second base. Remember, Smalley's run does not count. Gladden's does.
1-1.
That's why it's proper to play your outfield deep in situations like this, similar to guarding the line philosophy. Because you are trying to hold Gladden if he does get to a hit, hold him to a single. But the outfielders reminded to throw the ball to second base. Under no circumstances, make a throw to third to try to get Smalley should he go.
1-2.
interesting defensive alignment is that Oquendo is off the line at third, but Lindelman is guarding the line at first. So it tells you they don't expect him to pull Worrell.
Neither did we the other night.
Well, that was Gaetti, though.
Yeah, that's
Two
true.
different hitters.
That's
He threw
right.
the ball right by Gladden the other night.
2-2. Still 2-2. Gladden doing what Smalley did, staying alive, fouling off a couple with 2 strikes. Roy eventually worked Worrell for a walk. Gladden trying to keep the Twins alive in this one. It means Smalley will be off and moving with a pitch. On deck is Don Baylor. Baylor would bat for Gagne. And the Twins still kicking. Ball 4. And like Smalley, fouling off a couple of strikes, Gladden able to work him for a walk. And the tying run is at first base, and Gladden has good speed. That means a ball in the gap, and the game could be tied. And Don Baylor is a guy who can put a ball in the gap.
And if you had your outfield deep with Gladden hitting, you're going to play the outfield deep with Baylor hitting.
Number 18, Don Baylor.
And it's very deep.
Willie McGee in another county out in center field.
He is in Illinois, and there's a big gap in left center. And there's Ricky Horton in the bullpen. So Baylor with 2 on and 2 out. So noted by Kelly.
And will take one for the club. Then hit 225 times, and he will take the inside pitch and just get hit. Turn right into it.
Can't swing foul, 0-1.
I'll tell you, here's the situation. I wouldn't guard the line. You're trying to win the game. You're not trying to prevent a loss. You're trying to win. And a ball in the back part of the infield with Worrell throwing, you got a better chance of winning with the first baseman and third baseman in the fatter part of the field. The game's over if that happens.
Fly ball, shallow right. Herr goes out, and in this World Series, there is absolutely no place like home. Stadium right after this. Presented by authority of Major League Baseball, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of Major League Baseball. Tom Kelly is with us after the game, and he's with Reggie Jackson. Reggie.
Thank you very much, Al. Not a fun job being a manager at a time like this, but Tom Kelly, you get to go home tomorrow.
Right, Reg. We're going back now. We played a good ball game tonight. One bad inning where Herbie misplayed a ball and then Gagne misplayed a ball. They only hit 2 balls out of the infield and ended up with 3 runs. But, you know, we battled back and we had a chance to tie the game and go ahead in the 9th. But, you know, they give credit to the Cardinals. Cox pitched an outstanding game and Worrell. So we got to come back at the Metrodome, do the best job we possibly can, and we'll be ready.
Who's going to pitch for you Saturday?
Well, Lester Straker did an outstanding job the other day for us, and he's going to get the ball on Saturday.
Why has your ball club had so many problems on the road?
Well, I think it's basically just the tough pitching. Cox, outstanding. Tudor's been outstanding. Yesterday, they didn't pitch as well as, you know, they can, and we only managed a few hits and runs. I'm having trouble finding out the reason why. Nobody seems to know a reason.
Question for you again, my last question. If Les Straker pitches 6 good shutout innings again, what will you do?
Well, I think we're going to yank him out of there. I'm not going to go against our philosophies. We've seen him pitch all year like you have, and he gets 5 or 6 good innings in him, and the 7th inning he seems to fall apart. We'll see where we're at and how he's throwing the ball, and we'll make our decisions then, but we start to get nervous about the 6th.
Go back to the Metrodome, where you're obviously going to be the favorite. We'll see what happens up there Saturday afternoon. Back to Al Michaels.
Okay, Reggie, and we'll see what happens at 3:30 Eastern Time. So that's the story from Busch Stadium. Al Michaels, Jim Palmer, Tim McCarver, Reggie Jackson, good night from St. Louis. The final score, Cards 4, Twins 2, and the Cards lead 3 games to 2.